Right, fans back for one last segment. A little bit of other stuff going on football-wise. Then we're going to talk about a few other things. Okay, guys. Season coming up. Week 0. Cumberland Gap and Wartburg. Of course, you and Sean, and of course, later on I came in, Luke came in, but you and Sean coached together at Jacksboro. You know, this is kind of a big story. You know.
Yeah, it's an exciting matchup. He and I, we'd always discussed the fact that if we got a head coaching job somewhere, we would schedule each other. And so I got my opportunity, and fortunately for Coach Jesse and Coach Pucciarello, they were able to work into their schedule for a week 0 matchup. So,
and I'm going to make a little announcement about that. It will be our very first Volunteer Times football game of the week. This football season, we're going to do a game of the week. We're going to do Cumberland Gap, Wartburg for sure. We're going to do 2 Campbell County, 2 Anderson County, 2 Jellicoe. I'm probably going to do you all in Jellicoe. And 2 Cumberland Gap, 2 Campbell County, 2 Jellicoe. And probably going to do Jacksboro Follett as our game of the week, 1 week. So it's, you know, we've got some pretty big stuff lined out for this. And I'm looking forward to the Cumberland Gap Wartburg matchup quite a bit, just because those are the 2 teams that we went and saw all year last year.
Yeah, both play exciting brands of football. Should be a really great game. Everybody come out, you cheer for Wartburg because Sean will come on the show.
Rodney has hair too.
That makes a difference.
Well, yeah, it will be an exciting matchup. We run similar styles of offense. It could be a game that lasts till midnight as much as we like to throw the ball, and could be a game with over 1,000 yards of offense, you know, so 50 to 55 ball game.
I'll say this.
And it's at Cumberland Gap, right?
Cumberland Gap last year gave up a lot of points. So you probably should be licking your lips for that one, ready for it.
Well, now the thing about Cumberland Gap, though, last season they were, if you watched them, they looked like a junior varsity team because they had freshmen and sophomores starting all over the field. So they'll be more mature this year and a lot tougher this season. They're usually known for having a good team.
I'll say that they got the biggest kid in the state on their team. I don't know if you saw him or not.
Haven't
He
seen him,
didn't
heard
get
it.
to play.
Tried my best to convince Sean. I had him convinced to go to Wartburg.
But the kid's around 7 feet tall and about 350 pounds. So
And if he can move, he'll be a force.
he may be a road grading offensive lineman. You know, maybe Sean will give him the ball and let him run.
I told Sean that he should just give him to me. I've got Vince McMahon's phone number. I'll make the kid famous.
I think for us, you know, we've stepped our schedule up quite a bit with Cumberland Gap. There's a 3A school. Our next game is Pigeon Forge. They're a 3A school. And
Playing Anderson County in the Jamboree.
Yeah, we'll be playing Anderson County up at their Jamboree. As we spoke about earlier, I like scrimmaging in the Jamboree with teams that are tougher than us, or not necessarily tougher than us, but bigger schools than us to give us good, tough competition.
Bigger rosters.
Yeah. And because I feel if we can even halfway compete with teams of that stature, then we should be in for a good season that gets us prepared. But also play Greenback. They're a top of the line single A school every year, and Harriman is our other non-district game. But
Harriman's got a lot of football tradition.
yeah,
I remember going up to Harriman when we were coaching together, and you were with Victor Jennings doing the radio, and I was with the Volunteer Times doing the sports, and Sean was keeping stats on the field for Wells.
yeah. When Campbell County had their Jamboree up there, it's a good place. Harriman put out a Division I signee last year. Their defensive end went to Kentucky, Shaquille Love, and you know they're known for
Jermaine Copeland.
who
Who played?
I believe that we were driving back from a Cumberland Gap game last year and listening to your game on the radio, and you all did a really good job against that division.
That was,
signing.
yeah.
Yeah, our Derek Carlin, he's a captain for us as well. He really shut Shaquille Love down. He didn't get anything on us, and we ended up Harriman, who probably had more talent than us overall. We beat them 41-12 because they couldn't stop our passing game, and we were just able to shut down their pass rush and shut their offense down.
I don't remember the exact station right now, but fans tune in on Friday night. What do you remember what it is? There's an FM station you can hear all of
Rodney,
those games on.
who is it you all play on?
I believe it's 101.3, if I'm not mistaken. It's
That
WECO.
sounds right. It's WECO.
WECO radio, WECO.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, you're really near the Johnson City station you can pick up too. Because if you're not careful, you wind up on one and
Yeah.
not.
Listen for their games. I've got them all the way from Cumberland Gap all the way through La Follette, so you can hear them.
Yeah, well, they play different teams throughout the county, but they usually get about 7 or 8 of our games on there. So, but the Cumberland Gap game is one I'm really looking forward to with Sean. You know, he's one of my best friends. Met him through coaching. Him and Patrick were both in my wedding. We've got a lot of history there with us, and we just it's something that's going to be real fun to take on him. And but you know, don't want to get caught up too much in that because it is Wartburg versus Cumberland Gap. You know, it's just kind of an interesting side note to know that you've got 2 best friends going against each other as well on the sidelines.
Well, and from a local angle, you got, you know, the whole Jacksboro Middle School angle there too. You had 2 Jacksboro coaches
And with
moved on to the next level of the high school, and
For us, with Cumberland Gap, you got several players from Campbell County that play on their team.
That's true. And with us, you know, I always root for Sean and Cumberland Gap every Friday night. You know, we kind of wish each other luck every Friday, send with a text message or something, and we call each other and see how we do after the game and discuss things. You know, we'd love to coach together again sometime, but right now that's not in the cards, so we're going to have fun coaching against each other.
you never know what the future holds, though.
That's true.
That's true.
Now, we're going to talk about a couple other non-football things. There's a situation going on at Anderson County High School right now that really kind of bothers me.
This truly is one of the more upsetting things I've heard come in a long time.
Kendra Miller made state in hurdles, and she also made cheerleader there. Well, I mean, she's having to practice for both. Well, her track coach, has kicked her off the track team, and is denying her a chance to go to the state, even though she came in 3rd in sectionals. And just the whole way it goes down, you know, to me as a coach, I always want to encourage my kids to do, you know, what's best for them. And to me, I always want to at least make sure they enjoy their high school athletics experience, because most of them are never going to play organized athletics again. And this guy, I mean, you know, I don't know him. I don't know what his real rationale is here. But I mean, you know, she made cheerleader. It's not like, you know, she's doing anything that's going to affect her track wise. They don't coincide. The cheerleaders aren't there on the track sideline.
Obviously, it didn't affect her that much because she literally went to sectionals and qualified for the state championships.
Right.
And what disturbed me just as much, their awards banquet was Friday night, and he told her to leave. He was not going to give her any awards, wasn't going to recognize her. She participated in that team all year, won a lot of races for
I mean, we've not looked it up yet, but she was probably good for 20 points a week for them, if not more.
She also was a jumper for them.
She won the triple jump every time she did it. She won the 100-meter hurdles most events. She usually plays in the top 2 or 3 in the 100-meter and 200-meter sprints. You know, it's a terrible situation. It really bothers me that this guy, and like I said, I've talked to her about it. All she did was go to cheerleading practice. And from what I understand, it didn't even conflict with track practice. Just she was in there practicing cheering before the state meet. It wasn't like she was practicing basketball. She was learning cheers.
How do you deal with conflicting sports? Do you have any football, basketball players?
Well, at our level, you know, at our size school with 400 kids, we have to really share all the athletes. So we don't tell them they can or cannot play. I require my football players to make 80% of the workouts during the off season. Prefer 100%, but they have to make at least 80%. But they are excused if they're playing basketball or baseball. I'm not going to hold that against them. As long as they can get there, you know, when that season's over, it's time to get to football and then worry about football. But you really, like Patrick just said, you got to let them try everything that they want to try while they're in high school. I don't think you need to make players pick a sport, because one thing, you might lose a great athlete by doing that, and you might cost them, you know, the player might pick football and then quit basketball, but he might have actually been able to make it to college in basketball.
Kendra should be a college scholarship track
She's gotten
athlete.
letters from colleges already.
Carson Newman, in particular. Said she's really good, and she works hard. She's very competitive.
She is.
I mean, at Jacksboro, how did you all deal with conflicting schedules with athletics?
For the most part, it was just like Rodney said. You know,
Yeah, I mean, it's never been an issue.
I don't understand why, how a coach can not want to make the high school experience better. I mean, really, that's what you're there for at the end of the day. You love to win, you love to compete, but you know, it's to make the kids have a better enjoyment of high school. And I don't understand why a coach would want to take that away in this situation.
I plan on saying more about this. There's supposed to be a meeting with the athletic director because she did earn a trip to state by this qualification. If she doesn't get to go, if I'm not mistaken, it will qualify Campbell County's Kristen Chapman, who came in
That's
fifth.
what the rules say. But there are probably 100 girls on the Anderson County track team, or 50 at least.
It's a
There's
huge
lot.
team.
Yeah.
3 girls made it up the track team.
One of whom is already a Division I signee.
And, you know, that's just ridiculous to take it away, in my opinion.
And
So
she's
it's not a grades issue. She gets really good grades. It's not any kind of trouble she's in at the school issue. None of that. It was just apparently her participating in cheerleading set him off.
I don't, because another one of their throwers I know is on the volleyball team. Of course, she didn't make state, but she's already probably getting ready for volleyball. He's not give her any grief over to refuse to recognize her. It's completely about this guy. By all rights, she probably is going to wind up having some sort of off-season knee surgery, the way her knee's been bothering her. I've seen her in terrible pain after meets. And at the Metro 8 in Oak Ridge, she tweaked her knee. But because honestly, she'd have probably won sectionals had she not. She's just really good. And, I'm not saying that I wouldn't love to see Kristen go on and do really well in the 100-meter hurdles, but Kendra earned that shot.
She earned the position to go to the meeting at MTSU and compete on state final levels, and should have that.
And any high school would be lucky to have her on their track team. She's really good.
That's as big as you can get for a high school athlete, is getting this qualify for state.
So, hopefully that can be resolved. I'm going to kind of hold off because there is a meeting on saying anything else. There is a meeting with the athletic director tomorrow in theory. Fans, we've got to talk about one other thing. Randy the Macho Man Savage. Probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. One of the all-time greats. Had a heart attack. Passed away. No longer with us. He definitely entertained me a lot over the years.
Grew up watching him on wrestling, both WWF then and WCW, and he always put on a good show. His interviews were always hilarious.
They definitely are. We were watching some prior to the show. So this week as we go off the air, fans, in honor of the Macho Man, if I can my package undone, I may not be.
Bite through the plastic now.
We're going to be snapping into a Slim Jim this week,
That's right.
fans.
For, in honor of the Macho Man.
So fans, as we go off the air, let's snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah.